Yesterday in my wonderful state of California, an election. And from the looks of it, Gavin Newsom has won rather handily in the background, and I didn't even notice it. It's kind of funny what you don't notice when you're wasting time. And my God, today and like other days, I have wasted a tremendous amount of time. Where is Liz? Am I okay? I am fine. Let me invite you on my thing here. And I'm fine. I'm not really upset about the loss of the election. People may think that I am, but not really. So I'll put this in the thing here as well. Who wants to talk? But of course, I don't think human beings are born free. Human beings are born dependent, and for the most part, we die dependent. So we do need help from others, or we will probably more than likely die. That being said, Governor Newsom beat out the recall, and he beat it rather handily. And California is the bluest state, I believe, in the union. Probably even more blue than Oregon. And why that is and how that came about is up for debate. But a lot of conservatives began to leave after the riots, and then a large influx of Latino voters after Proposition 187 turned the state from a predictably red state, for the most part, to a pretty much solidly blue state. And I think that's going to change. Anyway, we do have Political Woodstock. Political Woodstock, how are you? How have you been?
I'm doing well.
Okay.
Oh, there's
Sounds like a little bit of Patriot Gregging.
But
All right, just
can you hear me?
Yes, I can. There is a tad bit of Patriot Gregging. I don't have a lot of time, so we have about 10 minutes before I call.
Okay.
Because I have to get
my thoughts.
Go ahead.
My thoughts on the California election are as a Democrat, I'm well pleased. There's some things about Larry Elder who seemed to lead in opposition that I found troubling. I believe Larry Elder is now the front runner for the Republican nominee in the next gubernatorial race.
That may be true, and you're still Patriot Gregging, so I'm going to summarize what you said, that you thought maybe he was trolling and that Larry Elder will be a good Republican candidate for the gubernatorial election. I think either way. I think.
Well, I'll come back in. Just give me a second.
Very well. I think that California is a solidly blue state. I remember, I don't know when it was. I think it was in the 2000s when even a moderate Democrat ran against Kamala Harris. And I think it was for the open Senate. And I think it was Loretta Sanders that ran against Kamala Harris, and Kamala Harris won the election. because they didn't even want a moderate Democrat. So it's a far left Democratic Party. I mean, it's just that's the way it is. Hey, Political Woodstock, you're back in. Hopefully, we can hear you better. You were Patriot rigging just a tad bit.
Right. I was talking about the gubernatorial recall vote in California. As a Democrat, I'm well pleased that he was not recalled because there are some things about Larry Elder, who was running in the Republican arena for the governor position, that I just don't agree with. I think he's too far right. Now, Newsom, is he too far left? Maybe. Is his wife corrupt? Possibly. I don't know how long before the next gubernatorial campaign, but I think the California race for governor which is gubernatorial, will be exciting to say the least when it comes around. Concluded. I hope you can hear me.
I did hear you, and I heard you myself. I just recapped it. And what I basically said is that California is a very deep blue state. At one time, and I mentioned the history of this, the 2000 riots, a lot of conservatives left the state. And after Proposition 187, which was in 96, a lot of Latinos who were not registered began to register to vote, and they made it a very, very blue, deep blue state. As a matter of fact, I think it was 2001, I could be completely wrong what year Kamala Harris became Senator of California, but they ran, the Republicans were backing a moderate Democrat, Loretta Sanchez, and Kamala Harris still won, and I think she won rather handily. So
I remember that Sanchez was not a bad candidate.
yeah, but again, the state is a far left. It's not only, it's not it's a very deep blue state, and I don't see it becoming even a moderate state at this point. It's
I'll have to disagree with you on that, because what is Pelosi really doing for her area down in San Francisco? Not a whole lot. The homeless population is growing by leaps and bounds. California has hardly any clean water left. Something's got to give in that state. I think people are going to start turning. And like you said before, the Latino vote is very important. And traditionally, they're more conservative, even though people think they're liberal because they're not white. I just, California is a hot state to watch. I know your time's growing close to the end, but concluded. And thank you for having me on your show. So I guess you're going to wrap up soon.
You're welcome, but I want to add that Latinos, they do vote more. They've never been, I don't think they've ever voted majority Republican or conservative, but they tended to be more conservative than the black community or the Jewish community. Which,
one more, sorry to interrupt. The education in the state of California is falling downwards. From 48 to 50th in the nation.
Your Patriot great.
Concluded.
And that was the one spot. And I wanted to mention, by the way, I got into a Twitter conflict with. I would only describe her as a I don't know if it's a limousine liberal, but she was talking about, like, if people want a private school education, they should bust their butt and afford it. And she had no self-awareness to how elitist she sounded. Just overall, like, lack of compassion to those poor people that are stuck in bad educations and that have to suffer and may not be able to afford private school. She said, my parents busted they busted their tail to get me into private school, and I do the same thing for my child. If parents want that, they'll do the same thing. And it's not so easy nowadays. Private school is far more expensive, particularly in California, than it was back in the day. And I think competition is a good thing. And why not compete? Why not have the public sector compete for those dollars? And because we have a very terrible education system at the moment.
Housekeeping. You need to do housekeeping. Just. I don't mean your home, your show.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there definitely needs to be housekeeping. But yeah, and my house is a little bit.
Like and subscribe. I wasn't talking about your home, talking about, helps out on the algorithms. I'm probably Patriot grading. Please click the like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell.
Absolutely, but let me add, the lack of self-awareness, and I've noticed this comes primarily from women. She didn't block me, but a lot of women who are in the woke social justice category, and they tend to be white women. If I go too far down the rabbit hole, I'll get blocked because after a while they cannot handle what I say. And this is primarily white women. Men do it too. I mean, the woke left often want to shut down. They're not necessarily interested in having a conversation. They're more interested in censorship, conquest, and compliance. And those people, primarily, you got to just go your own way, find your own way to make money. And I think that I'm at the point where I want to leave the state of California and maybe even have, like, I would like to see America have kind of a divorce. I think these people are, they don't hold my values. I don't think of them as noble human beings. They're very vindictive, nasty, self-righteous people. And I don't see any redeeming qualities in them. And they think they're right. They think they're self-righteous, and they will not be. You can't debate them, and you can't get through to them. So, what's the point? I think the main thing right now is for people to look for other avenues to make a profit, and really to strive to work hard and avoid those who do not respect you or have any empathy for you, because empathy has to be a two-way street. And a lot of woke leftism is selective empathy and vindictiveness to those who do not share their concerns. So that's what we're looking at the moment. And this whole pandemic that we're under right now, it's a difficult situation because I have my feelings on this. It's mixed right now because honestly, I don't know what or who to believe at this moment about this pandemic. I do know what to believe about some of the social justice stuff, which I think is completely bonkers. And it's made up of very vindictive and very nasty people. Political Woodstock, do you have anything to add of anything that I've said? I'll also mention this. Some of the conversations I was getting into, people began to bypass what I was saying to them. And there was one person that blocked me and was completely bypassing. And this is another thing that they do. They will not answer a question.
Oh,
Oh, you are Patriot Gregging like crazy. Oh, it's unfortunate. Okay, guys. Hey, like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, and visit our website at transparencyandmerit.com. Thank you for listening.